and entertainment. The true voice of the people. Radio D, to you there's no equal.
Second to none, second to none. Radio D, you're still number one.
You are the voice of the voiceless. You are the choice of the voiceless.
Real.
Sure. Yeah.
Check it out. Check it.
You did teach and preach, but good governance.
Real.
You want to see we country advance. You not get party, stand for democracy. You give everybody a chance.
98.1.
Radio democracy. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. On news, views, and entertainment. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. On news, views, and entertainment.
Radio Democracy 98.1. We believe in no political party. We have no region. We have no tribe. We believe not in social or class standing. We believe in democracy. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in good governance.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
From New Englandville Studio, good morning and welcome to another edition of the program Good Morning Saloon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today, not Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. We will bring you this edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. Musa Kamara na the name.
And me, Nasapti Yukalon, good morning. Inside the program this morning, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jule Jalo, say the private sector involvement to the health sector initiative. We in office they head now foresee how government go work with them for get strength to the well body sector. One panel lawyer them for Dr. Samura Kamara inside anti-corruption case. Frank Kagbodon say the different team want for cross-examine Dr. Ali Kaba because of the team them where ABC na court as prosecution witness. And today inside the program, Radio Democracy go come talk to the two political parties them na the country, when are the ruling SLPP and the main opposition APC, but waiting and think but the PPRC decision for ban political rally ahead of the June 24 election.
Well, these and other stories them day na the program for you, plus President BOC, the boss them we don't get to Ijala University go address the transport challenge them where this university they get. Members say they listen to we live on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl and say they listen to we live from Radio Shalom 9.5 Nakwana Dugan Falaba Districts, Radio Malen 88.5 and Radio 1G 101.3 na Pujaun, Voice of Masuru 90.5 and also Radio Kolente 90.5 na Kambia, Radio Mwa 15.5 na Kailaun, Voice of Karina na Kamakwi on 98.0. The program na Good Morning Saloon. You can be part of them by we can send text message to the number 077-981-981. 077-981-981 are the number for send a text message and be part of the program, or go on our Facebook page and drop your comment on issues we will discuss inside the program Good Morning Saloon.
Well, the program Good Morning Salon they continue, and inside the program now we they look at we first issue. As way for support government education sector, this make ActionAid Salon some time back we start for implement one project we name Action to Empower Marginalized Adolescent Girls Project na both district and western area as way for support girl picking them na the country. And according to the executive director for ActionAid Salon, for the Basiswari, he say the main aim for this project now for make girl picking them we don't come out na school return back and give them sabi on different issue them. Well, for more on this issue, let we listen to Usman Kamara as a report.
Over the past year, ActionAid Salon, now one of government's main non-governmental organization, we don't help government develop the country inside and different projects them, we then implement. One part of projects here, now the Action to Empower Marginalized Adolescent Girls project. But first, make we listen to the executive director for ActionAid Salon, for the Basiswari, we start for explain about this project.
Adolescent girls and girls in general experience a lot of barriers when it comes to access, either access to education, life skills, or skills training, or economic empowerment activities. For us, it is this intersecting discrimination that this project is trying to address in order to break those barriers that which these girls face. Around barriers to access education, either in community level, into issue around teenage pregnancy, child marriage, sexual and gender-based violence, all of those. So what this project is doing, our focus, looking at two areas. One, how do we empower these adolescent girls to ensure they have the skills, they have the capacity, they understand their rights, and be able to access education, but also at the same time the skills to resist and challenge all forms of discrimination and violence against them. So what this project is doing is we have what we call the empowerment spaces, where we train these girls, we have school mentors who work with these girls, for them to have the confidence to understand their rights and be able to demand accountability from duty bearers, either the school authorities or the community as a whole.
For the Basi soirée, carry on for explain, but the thing them, we same way so they don't give to picking them.
Commence the distribution of learning materials, dignity kit, and startup kits to 360 adolescent girls we'll be working with in the last 1 year in Bo and in Western area under a project titled Action to Empower Marginalized Adolescent Girls in Sierra Leone, which is funded by the People's Postcode Lottery. Programming for adolescent girls must not only focus on formal education, but also life skills and other economic empowerment education opportunities that will lead to their self-reliance and realize their dignity and self-worth. So basically, at the end of the day, what we want to see empowered adolescent girls, that understand their rights, that have access to education, reducing, dropout rates, and also be able to resist and challenge all forms of violence and discrimination against them. So this project we are implementing is just in 10 communities, 5 in Bo and 5 in Western area. We are seeing progress in just 1 year of implementation of this project.
Dr. Olive Musa, now the Director of Non-Formal Education, now the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, inside in statement, it say this project they in line with what governments they do. We now for make more girl picking them. We don't come out na school, go back na school.
For Action Aid to have come to complement the work of government, I am moved. And I'm sure with this kind of work that they are doing, I hope we as government, we try to work with them so that at least we have more areas to cover and more children, out of school children, to come back to school. We have to drive in this agenda of getting these out of school girls back to school. And those who cannot do it, we really encourage them to have other skills that they are able to be motivated to get into an entrepreneur, or they get into a skill that will enable them to earn more, or to be able to help them, to have a better life in the community. In as much as the free quality education is also promoting school, in enrollment, for us, our non-formal education is complementing.
The Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, now they in charge for regulate NGO in the country, and Eric Masale, now the Director of NGO in the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, he been call on people for all this project with to earn, so that other people them go benefit.
We in the ministry now with a plan for the country, and when this government come into power, we ministry we develop what we call the medium-term national development plan, and that plan they span for the 5 years. That plan they basically speak to the priorities in government wants for do for UNA within the 5 years. Action Aid happen for be one of the organizations where in the true spirit of development then they complement what in government they do. Education now the surest way to success. When I take this project here so very seriously, Action Aid ready for good and the fullest support. But if UNA not ready for embrace them, they will count everything, they will count the whole world for UNA. We not go see any impact. And we don't want that. We want to see the impact.
As people don't start for benefit from this project, the one we don't benefit. Now this he been saying.
Me na one of the drop out of school. I get belly. Why get belly? The man will give me the belly. In all day, in hide, afraid. Once I did the Action Aid go. They go na Bama station. Na the barre, na didn't go. We all go meet up na the barre. They say they need people there, they take me name. They be the couch something there for we. They don't make now. My life don't improve. I don't be get courage again because I be saying I'm here at the left school. So now they be they talk to me now for no more. Like attend school.
Inside this ceremony of this project, different stakeholders them may end up ashore for monitor this project so that it will benefit more people them and the different districts them who side and implement this project. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara, the report.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salon. We come to you from 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we continue for look at more issues. We go say President BOC, the three boss them we don't give to Jala University go address the transport challenge with this university gets. A talk this way, it be the Anoba, the boss key them to the university administration as this is seen a part of a support to the education sector. For more on this, we join Yeno Kabia.
According to Jala University, then say from where President Bio take office, in only support them at different area them, like in only plenty students then scholarship, carry electricity na the campus them and plenty other thing them we make them they operate like university. During the time when the president be go work at the Macauley campus na Jala University, outside them be go get the doctorate degree. Inside one meeting where in be all with the academic staff association at the university. Then be tell and thank you for the good thing them we in on do for Jala University and self them be talk about some pan they challenge them we then say them they get and one pan challenge here na transportation challenge. For sake of the transportation challenge, make the President Julius Madabio don't go hand over 3 minibus them to the Academic Staff Association at Jala University, where this, according to the President, now for Mokonde campus, Bo campus, and serve for the Academic Staff Association. And this President Bio say, go address the transport challenge where students and staff them, they get to the university.
When I was on campus, a few weeks ago, one of the constraints you told me about was transportation, different groups. So today we have 3 minibuses, one for Mokonde, one for Asa, and the other one for Bo campus. I did not make a pledge at the time, but I did say I had noted your concern and constraint. At an appropriate time, I will definitely do something about it. So that is why you're here, slave the man.
President Julius Manabio end up say this support way in Gogi Jala University na part of government support way in the give to the education sector. Where this making say in government go continue for support this university. Where immediately receive the 3 key them for the boss the way the President Julius Madabio don't give them. The president for the Academic Staff Association at Jala University, Dr. Brahma Agiba say the boss support where the president don't give them. Come the right stem where this in say go address the transportation challenge where the university they face.
You being here is divine, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very sure that you will be there for the next 5 years, sir. We want to thank you, because this is a kind of unique history. Since the history of Jala, we've been suffering. The last time we came here, and I told my secretary, I said it's unfortunate that His Excellency is not here. If he would have been here, I know it will happen. And for sure, you went for Jala. Few weeks along the line, you've done it. When we highlighted the problems, we talked about electricity, we talked about water, and the last was transportation. You said you would not promise us the two, but transportation, you will see what you can do. Today, you've proven beyond every reasonable doubt. No wonder it's now I play with it, I sense it, I play with the reality of the situation, that it is not only by word, but in reality, indeed, you are talk and do. You deserve it. You are a kind man, honorable man, first among equals. I appreciate you so much, and I will ensure that this kindness will not stay in this office. My colleagues, senior colleagues, will know about it. And I will ensure that we interpret that in terms of votes. Once again, thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Brahma Agiba end up telling thank you to President Bio for the kind of support here we in say in don't give them. Where this making say then go continue for support President Bio in government for make the president go continue with the different developments in them where in on they do at the university and save the country. For Radio Democracy, Yeno Kabia the reports.
And you listen to the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Time for my studio clock, now 7:44 a.m. and inside the program now we look at another issue. The Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jule Jallo, say the private sector investment with the health sector initiative when in office they head now for see how government go work with them for get strength to the well body sector. He talk this inside our meeting where the office of the vice president hold with the private sector for talk on how them for able to support government for get strength to the well body sector. Well, for more on this issue, let we listen to Musa Kamara as a report.
Na been term for involve the private sector per health service delivery for improve on the well body sector. We make the office of the vice president be engaged with the private sector for see how they go able for improve and contribute to the well body sector. Dr. Mustafa Sundufu Kaba, na the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Minister of Health and Sanitation Clinical Service, give the status of the well body sector.
Well, some of the achievements they will highlight now with drastic reduction in the maternal mortality. We don't present with successful implementation of the COVID-19 vaccination. We were able to vaccinate about 70% of the target population. Also, in terms of vaccination, we don't roll out an extensive program on HPV vaccination. And we don't improve with services in hospitals in terms of equipment, support, infrastructural development and renovations. We get oxygen plants in 4 regional hospitals, and we did take clinical services to vulnerable communities using the mobile health clinics. We don't say about 19,000 people over 6 months. Challenges are still, there's a huge gap in terms of all the services what they provide. We they try for filling now with some of these things what they meet in terms of bringing in health development partners, public, private sector into investing into the health sector so that we upgrade with services to meet international standards.
For continued development here and reduce the past-mark challenge in the well body sector, make the Vice President, Dr. Mohammed Julde Jallo, say in office they add the private sector involvement to the health sector initiative.
The objective of this meeting is to see how government can structure a relationship with the private sector in a way that we can better tap into the support you are giving to that sector. Meaning that today we want to propose a clear idea, the nature into which we can better tap into that support. We have here today the Minister of Health, who is going to outline some of the gains we have done in the private sector over the years. Because as a government, when we came in, budgetary allocation to that sector was 6%. We progressively increased it from 6 to 8. Today we are at 11.7%. And that investment, we are very proud, we are very happy, the outcomes and the indicators are out there.
This meeting, according to the Vice President, now for tell thank you to the private sector for their support to the well body sector over the past year and see how they go give strength to the private partnership.
The other aspect is the PPP unit, the public-private partnership unit is going to make a proposition to you, the private sector people that have been working and supporting government, how we can better structure that support and how we can better tap into that support. Also, we want to state here that we want to use this opportunity to encourage private sector people for them to realize that also doing business in the health sector brings a lot of returns. You still have a lot of services that could be provided by private sector in this country. For example, we invited the IFC. I think, are they already around?
Where they talk about the importance of the private sector to well body improvements in a salon. Dr. Austin Demby, Minister of Health and Sanitation, say they need this sector for achieve some of the plans them where government don't put as blueprints in the well body sector.
So we're planning in this country to take maternal mortality, which is a surrogate marker for development in general, to not only take it down to less than 300 as we envisaged, but to say by 2030 we're going to go below 70. And so it'll mean bending the curve. We could only do that with strong partners in the private sector. And I think what we have here today is this galaxy of captains who we could work with. We could see how we could complement each other. We could see how you could help us fill some critical gaps. Again, your investments are looking at catalytic investments that will allow us to go to where we want to go.
I talked to some of the representatives them from the private sector, especially from the mining and the banking sector, as to waiting the makeup of this meeting.
Yeah, Mina Salim Sila, CTO for Leon Rock Metal Group. Yeah, I think this is a really good thing for the country. I believe, say, if they're able to galvanize all this set of groups that I don't see will really transform the sector very rapidly, because these are the powerhouses that when you talk of financial capacity. So if they're already willing for putting, I believe, say, will make a tremendous change.
I want to contribute.
Well, we get different ways how we contribute, and one way through we corporate social responsibility. And of course, we have to coordinate with the government now, because first the government to do what you want for do, but now it will be happen more, collaboratively with the government.
I'm Dr. Walton Gilpin, the MD of Africa Commercial Bank, also doubling as the president of the Australian Association of Commercial Banks. I think it's quite timely, quite phenomenal also, because there is a need for to strengthen the health sector in Salon, and government want to for Duam. So we're bringing the private sector for put hand and put sense into this, and also bring resources into this. I think it's quite good, because at the end of the day, now we'll get the country to grow and all the benefit. If the country get poor health system, now we all they suffer. So why don't we come together, put your hands together and make this work? So a very good initiative from the Office of the Vice President and the Ministry of Health, and they all been there today for make this work, and we say gladly for that day. Well, what we do, we get together as part of the financial sector and see how we will put we minds, we hearts, and we resources together for support this. So we will meet together as a group, and we will come up with a position, and also we will come up with something we go tangible, we go physical, we will be a kind of deliverable for support the health sector.
At the end of this meeting, then form interim body where the Office of the Vice President to go support for transition into health partnership consortium among the private sector them for the Society for Radio Democracy. Musa Kamara, the reports.
And the program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and inside the program again, we look at another issue. The Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Raman Sware, don't say, under the leadership of President Bio, government work now for turn Salon to a digital state, where this is a go help the trend to the country in national security, economy, and governance system. A talk this inside the second meeting of the Ministerial Steering and Expert Committee of the Umbilical Cable Sovereign Cable Project, where Salon with them partner and other country them they implement. Well, for more on this issue, we reporter Abubakar Kanu go report.
Honor to officially declare this 3 days second Ministerial Steering and Expert Group meeting on the Amelka Cabra Submarine Cable Project officially open, and wish you all
the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Raman Sware, been officially opened the second Ministerial Steering and Expert Committee of the Amelka Cabra Submarine Cable Project meeting, and this project go therefore provide the member states them when a Cape Verde, Gambia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, and Salon with subsea fiber optic cable, we could increase the international broadband capacity and introduce the one network system for member states them. And inside 2022, the committee will hold their first meeting for review the progress of this project, look inside the draft for develop memorandum of understanding and develop roadmap, but how the committee get for work. As this committee, they meet again for the second term, the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Raman Sware, start for say this project will help government for develop strategy them, where they go use for address the risks for get one submarine cable and improve the broadband market na Salon.
The Ministerial Steering Committee and the Expert Committee provides an excellent opportunity for participating member states in the project to create ownership as well as learn and share their experiences of successes and challenges in the deployment and utilization of critical digital infrastructure such as the undersea fiber cable. I wish to personally commend the ECOWAS Commission and in particular the Directorate of Infrastructure, Energy and Digitalization and the Project Preparatory Development Unit, PPDU, for conceiving this project, which is so relevant to all of us having only a single cable as we create the enabling environment to expand broadband connectivity and technology. The project will support the government in developing a strategic approach to addressing the potential risk of having a single submarine cable, as well as to better leverage the potential that this brings to improve efficiency of the broadband.
As the Minister, Mohamed Raman Sware, when they talk about the opportunity them inside this project, it continues to say Salon government under the leadership of President Bio, they work now for transform the country to digital state, where go help give strength to the country economy, democracy, national security, and good governance.
Sierra Leone was one of the first countries in West Africa to commit to improving the geographical reach of high-speed connectivity to its citizens through an undersea cable, internet cable, the Africa Coast to Europe, which benefited from World Bank Group financing. The government of Sierra Leone has made significant efforts to develop the terrestrial backbone networks that connect the submarine cable to its citizens and neighboring countries. Currently, We have about 1,600 kilometers of in-country core fiber network that connects most major cities and towns, as well as linking the two neighboring countries of Guinea and Liberia. Let me state here that this project resonates with the government's medium-term national development plan and the national digital development strategy, in line with the government's agenda of developing a resilient and affordable digital ecosystem to achieve His Excellency's vision of transforming Sierra Leone into an inclusive digital economy and society with a digitally empowered citizenry, supporting sustainable economic development, democracy, national security, and good governance.
When he read his statement inside the French language, the director for ECOWAS Project Preparation and Development Unit, Dr. Eugene Capucci, say inside this engagement, then go look inside the progress them where the preparation team don't make inside the work as they not reach the implementation stage now of this program. Dr. Eugene Capucci end up for recognize the good work of the consultants them inside this project and say their work don't produce the best results. When they look for inside this project for the Society for Radio Democracy, Abubakar Kanu, the report.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salon. We come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we mentioned inside one power headline today inside the program, Radio Democracy go talk to the two political party them we now the ruling and the main opposition for talk about the makeup of the Political Parties Registrations Commission. Regulations Commission PPRC for ban political rally ahead of the June 24, 2023 election. Well, the Political Parties the Political Party Regulation Commission, March 27 this year, be meet with civil society, election management bodies, security sector, and development partner them for see how they go regulate the 2023 election. And one of the results of this meeting now for ban street rallies during the upcoming election for ensure they get strength to peace and security during this election. And come with options them as how the political parties them go able for meet with their supporters them and able address them and pass them the information without street rallies. But within the political parties, APC and SLPP make up of this. Inside the studio, I want to welcome Macauley, the Deputy Campaign Manager, Samura 2023 Presidential Campaign Western Area. Good morning and welcome to the program, Macauley.
Good morning, listeners and viewers.
And also want to welcome Lawrence Leema, the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling SLPP party. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, 98. Good morning, listeners.
Before we go to that, we're going to continue for day with me inside the program. We go quick now the Political Parties Regulations Commission and come with the decisions and the reports. We said them ban political rallies them. Quick one, we're going to studio 2 and listen to the reports.
Well, basically the campaign mode will be for zeroing on an evaluation of street rallies. We want to see whether they're still necessary or they don't outlive their usefulness. So we put that question there to the political parties. Then we all sit down and deliberate on them and come out with a position statement, whether for maintain them or in the alternative for abolish them.
So then political party they are waiting them be put forward to now with regards to this campaign mode.
Basically, we contention at the commission is that the street rallies were meant to bring in supporters to the streets and for send campaign messages to them for letting them be able to win over their support. But over the years, the rallies and they don't transform them into some platform for lawlessness. But they say when they call out their supporters out in the street for rally, then they attack the political opponents by way of invective, mamikos and other things. Then they also destroy the opponents in campaign materials, posters, and then they also attack passive political opponents, then persons and then property, throw stones at people, their house, broke people, their shops, and all of them hills and days. So we lay them bare at the table, and we ask all the political parties, for we all look at the issues they are, patriotically, devoid of political sentiment. Now we come out with a decision as to whether for maintain the street rallies or for do otherwise.
So what's in the decision wanna be reached? What's the agreement?
The decision eventually, the consensus was that we abolish the street rallies them, and that political parties now, the rally, now designated areas where the police could provide security coverage. So all of the political parties who were in attendance and all 17 registered political parties that be in attendance, they all been in agreement that law will abolish the street rallies there.
Including the APC party.
Including the APC party. The Secretary General himself was there, Dr. Richard Conte was there, and Marie Tambaka, and 3 represent the APC. Of course, the APC and the SLPP then raised certain issues of concern in terms of the enforcement of this ban. I mean, their concern basically, what thing go happen with people then where they go to then designated areas, they have to go attend and party and campaign, and when they are coming from those designated areas, because they not go want when the supporters then they go and see them, they converge in the street, they head for the designated areas, the police intercept them. So we tell them, we assure them, say we also meet with the security sector actors them, for more we decide on how the rules will be when people they go for the campaign and when they come out from the campaign.
So you talk about designated area. So how do people go about this when you mean designated area? Outside?
You can campaign in an open field, you can campaign in a stadium, a football field, a community field, and everywhere. I mean, so when it is your time for campaign, you tell the police then the areas then, because you are not going to campaign in one designated area.
So no street rallies for this particular election?
By the consensus we reached yesterday, yes, no street rallies. It's in the issues of us infringing on the rights of people, the right to assemble, the right to associate, all come up. But we also bring to their attention, say, whilst you are exercising your rights, the exercise of your rights therefore be premised on the respect for the rights of other people. Now the same right that we not say they violate when we go out in una rallies, because when they rallies and they go out, schools not open. Market women and then they come in the markets and they close the markets them. I mean offices not open. And by that, you also they infringe on the rights of people for carry out their lawful businesses. And when we come out, when attack private properties, when they infringe on the right of the other person. So all of this thing is about a balancing act. And elections is not about merriment, singing and dancing. Elections are supposed to be a period for reflection and an evaluation of your political actors. The one that will be done, they waiting and do. The one that way they now waiting and they do. The one that one can they waiting and intend for do.
This na thing way don't happen na election in a saloon. So why this different?
Why this difference? Because of the hills they will don't have highlight to you. See, now then here they happen. And in fact, I want to let people they know see, then street rallies and a saloon no more be they happen. You know they happen anywhere. I mean, barring even all the internal threats we then rallies they are the post. We even get external threats in this world of uncertainty. Now we left the dance. Saloon we don't dance plenty. We don't marry plenty. Election not to merriment. Election you get forget deep reflection and evaluate the political actors then. And then you make an informed decision. The dance don't plenty.
These agreements are one way, according to you, now all the political parties them don't agree for make them ban all rally, now just designated side they get for go and do their campaign. What will be the penalty for any party we go against these agreements? In
fact, one thing I tell them yesterday, they had the option to even ban the rallies, or in the alternative, then we get the option for say, maintain the rallies then they. But I bring to their attention, see, now most of them conduct and the way the public be they condemn. Where political parties them they perpetrate and the public them gather outcry against them. Most of them conduct and the new political parties Act 2022 don't prescribe them conduct and they. And they not only prescribe them conduct and they make them unlawful, but they also don't prescribe penalties for anybody where they do. So they have the option, law ban the rallies or law maintain the rallies. But if we do maintain the rallies, any political party will call out people in the street, you get for own up to anything will happen. So they chose to abolish the rallies and follow campaign at designated areas. When you misconduct yourself in the manners we prescribe in the act, we'll come after you. The penalties then they in the form of a warning, and then if you warn, nobody no pay it, you fine. If you find the person repeats the same conduct, you may suspend. If you suspend, that no help, you may deregister.
Well, that now Abdullahi Bangura, the chairman for the political parties registration regulation, they talk to Princess Pias inside that interview day. The program is still listening to now Good Morning Saloon. We will bring you this edition of the program. Musa Kamarana Minim. And we can join with studio guests there now. As we announced earlier, we did with Adi Macauley, Deputy Campaign Manager, Western Area, Samura 2023 Presidential Campaign, and also the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling or SLPP, Lahai Lawrence Leema, then in the studio for get and take on the ban on political rallies. But quick one, I start with the opposition at the Macauley. You don't listen the intro we do, and also from the PPRC boss as an APC, the main opposition. What do you take on the ban of political rallies during the 2023 election?
The position of the APC remains unchanged. That is, it has been the tradition of political parties in the political cycle for engage in street rallies, and we've maintained this tradition for over 25 years. So it is our position that nothing stops us in a way. I mean, we are quite surprised by the statement of the PPRC chairman. Now, with information that we opposed it, and we remain committed to opposing it. We believe now the constitutional right of individuals and political parties for engage in gatherings and movements we lawful under the Constitution. So I want we get that at the back of our mind when we discuss this issue.
The PPRC boss advanced reasons them why them ban street rallies. According to them, they threaten public safety, public peace, and public morality, and also infringe on the fundamental rights of other people. And also during this period, they make mention of issues that we don't come up from street rallies during by-elections and also elections They make reference to the killing Tonko Limba. As an APC or the opposition, we not agree to them points where PPRC there is.
Make a hasten for make this very clear. Every gathering, regardless of the nature, always get the risk of disorder. I mean, we might as well ban football matches. We might as well ban paddle. We might as well ban street rallies of masked devils. In fact, we might as well ban parliament, because in the past 5 years, how many times we don't see fete inside parliament where police again for coming and probably separate the two sides. So the point why they try to make is this. You don't go single out political rallies as the only one we get the risk of disorder and violence. Even football matches, in fact, history shows say football matches carry higher risk of disorder and violence than political rallies.
Okay, you state earlier say on a position still unchanged. What exactly are the main position of the main opposition party APC in terms of this whole PPRC the decision for banned street rally, where according to the chairman, this is in the consent of all political party them?
Well, I don't know what in the chairman mean by consent, but probably after here, we as a party go seek clarification from what the information I get is this, that our party opposed a total ban on street rallies. That is the first point. And the second point is this. Like I say, the APC remain unchanged in the position that political parties, not only limited to the APC, get a right for engage in rallies. This is how we galvanize the support base. In fact, when you make rallies in a festive environment, dancing, laughing, it brings people then closer to political parties. I agree they talk about is a time for reflection. The time for reflection is now only done a bit. They're about for sleep. You begin member. When you wake in the morning, you say you go pull money. For buyers, it's almost 700,000 euros a bag. We probably by tomorrow, dollar don't reach 23,000. These are the things that we need for reflect on as Sierra Leoneans in making sure that when we go to the ballot booth that day, you make a decision, we go better you tomorrow. You don't get nothing to do with street rallies. And make us say this, there has been too much of regulation of society, and it's bad. It basically infringe on the basic constitutional right under the 1991 Constitution. One, we come out applying the car, for traveling in the convoy, we pass 10 vehicles. Two, for rally. I mean, where are we heading? For a police state? That is where we are now.
So in terms of the option where PPRC give on this particular decision, according to them, there are more better option for the political leader than connect, meet and sell policy with party supporter and other one them. You think say that option then anyway not to a better one?
Well, make I give you, let the option be one where we as a political party get a right for choose as and when we want for choose them. And also PPRC for no say the regulatory powers we then get basically not go to the minute activities of political parties. I mean, if you begin show how political parties they rally, how they for do this, how they for do that, we might just sit in our offices and not do anything. And if just finish, it say you get a choice for going to Brahma Atuga Stadium or for going to Stadium, Shaka Stevie Stadium. One, why would they do their street rallies here? Cost effective. If we get today, for saying that today na APC day for rally na Freetown, we don't get that resources there for mobilize people in a Brahma Atuga Field, Kisi Field, National Stadium. I mean, it's going to be too much of pressure on scarce resources. So for me, we as a political party still maintain, say, just like we Premier League they go on, you get thousands and thousands of people in the Kana Stadium watch football and go na the host. And so we said get the right for engage in political activities. It's not to everyday something.
But at the Macauley, in all of this, PPRC they act within the mandate for regulate all political party them. So why the objection as if they go out of line?
Well, in you regulating political parties, you for make sure say you not infringe on the constitution. Not forget say the legislation will give PPRC the power for regulate political parties. Where now the Political Parties Regulation Act of 2022. Now one way subject to the 1991 Constitution. There is a provision at the 1991 Constitution 171 sub 15 where any law way inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void.
So in a whole, they say the PPRC not get the mandate for ban political rallies.
No, they're not getting mandate for ban political rallies because that is one thing with the Constitution guarantee.
But they are the political party regulations commission.
Just finish me line of thought. Don't forget, in 2018, the Sierra Leone police force bring a ban on the movement of vehicle and people on the basis that security threat, now for security reasons. Augustine Mara, a lawyer, was arrested and detained for using the vehicle on elections day. It challenged at the Supreme Court, and the judgment of the Honorable Justice Brown are very, very, very clear. Nobody no get the right for restrict the movement of persons and vehicles without a state of emergency. So while we get that one there at the back of
so saying that the PPRC no get right for ban political rallies, you they represent the main opposition APC party. We just foresee the APC follow these regulations or una no go abide by them.
No misquote me. I not say PPRC no get the right. What they say is this: PPRC they act inconsistent with the 1991 Constitution, and Section 171 sub 15 of the 1991 Constitution say any law way inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, which in this case now freedom of association and freedom of movement, it is null and void. So we not go come on and do say we dey go rally. This is not something where we dey sit down, we think about, we discuss, and I go assure you say taking legal action at the Supreme Court is a possibility.
It's 2 months to election.
Well, when it comes to fundamental human rights, according to the Constitution, the Supreme Court gets 30 days for hear and give judgment on the matters. So it will never be too late.
So we for see court action?
Well, as I say, we as a political party go sit down and discuss them. And I don't tell you, say, taking legal action is on the table. I don't say we take legal action, no, but it is a possibility that it is on the table.
It's a second option of consideration from APC?
Well, as I say, we as a political party go sit there and discuss them. But just they tell you waiting at the rights, waiting at the various options.
Well, they're not totally ban movement and freedom. There are other options for bring, party supporter them together.
When you tell me,
where according to them, this are for curtail so many things where street rally them don't speak to we no good.
So you want tell me say for come out from PZ for can cutting tree. You tell me say you not get right for commodity grander, not to restriction on my movement. I mean, let's just get serious here. Which gathering or movement of people they will not get risk of disorderliness and violence? I hear the chairman they talk about destruction of campaign materials. They drive this morning they come now all along Congo Cross, Samoa and Bana they don't cut all the face commodity.
Now Samoa no more you see.
Allow me, if you see any other one, you can talk.
No, where you come, there are so many banners.
Well, now that one they me see because I'm interested in. So basically, we don't get street rally, but there is this destruction. I mean, what I think is this: the PPRC and the Sierra Leone police they try for shark away of their responsibilities for provide security during processes where people let the rally doing political rallies.
Will they come back to you, Ade Macauley, Deputy Campaign Manager, Samora 2023 Presidential Campaign Western Area for whose impacts una think say if we are not engaged in street rallies could get on una campaign for 2023 election. The program Good Morning Saloon they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1. Inside the program we come to be other studio guests, Lahai Lawrence Leema, National Publicity Secretary for the Salon People's Party, SLPP. They inside the program for talk on the party position for Sika, the ban of street rallies ahead of the 2023 election. Lahai Lawrence Leema, if you don't listen to the PPRC chairman and also then we don't pull and press release and don't listen to Ade Macauley inside the program. As the ruling party, what's now a decision or a view on the banning of street rallies ahead of 2023 election?
Well, as a party, we don't look at, first of all, what in street rally they're about. A part of the campaign program of the election cycle they enter into as a way for sell your message to the citizens of Sierra Leone, for make them buy into your message. But over time, the purpose for really put out the message through doing street rallies don't they lost in cause. You will find out say we don't get more time for managed security and peace issues during street rallies. And even after elections, we always don't engage in a bipartisan approach also for engage with the communities then for ameliorate the reprisal tensions. I mean the reprisals tensions then we can do in the minds of people and we born out of the tension we don't build up during the street rallies then they. And you find out say communities then we can get the individual grudges and then they look out for an opportunity for make them able to unleash them grudges then they. And then when you say rallies, especially when it comes to political parties, we get the potential for a mass crowd out, whether genuinely or whether they get for buy the crowd out. But again, everybody when they come out, they come with a new motive, especially when the activities itself get for be mad with where people then get for intoxicate the mind with toxicants them. We go derailed the understanding of waiting at the essence of even listening to the messages. So we don't find out say over time, this don't put more pressure on government and even on political parties for make we really pay attention. Make I give you an example. In school where I go, Holy Trinity, now they take people in for exams more than, say for instance, more than 200. No matter how the population show up for the school. Why? Because the school want for keep a limited classroom where we will forget a better understanding of the concepts than within they teach. And you find out, say, if they send 100% for public examination, whatever happen, you get 50% pass for university, and you must get at least 30% for other tertiary institutions. So when you maintain a limited crowd for pass a message to, then they understand them better than when you get a mass crowd. Now, why we not averse to the ban? Because we think, say, as political parties, we are dissected by communities. If we want for talk, say, for instance, to the Douazak community, we executive will get at that level. We can walk through them for mobilize people them at a particular center, for instance, na Dwaza community, where we go engage and talk to. And if we flag bearer go get for go there and talk to them, we go able for go to flag bearer there and talk to them. So we don't find out say over time, because of the problems then we the street rallies the cause, and because it drifts away from the very core essence of even the rally itself, it only create problems. So institutions of states, when at the PPRC, precisely where they regulate political parties, put them forward to all political parties, say, these are the concerns where citizens of Sierra Leone, especially through CSOs, don't raise, that it derail the democratic process itself, and then concerns them, they inform even the amendment of the PPRC Act. And the responsibility of government, as stated in one of the state's fundamental policies, Section 5, 2B, we actually talk, say the government get the responsibility for the safeguard, security and peace of citizens. Government can take proactive measures as well in in consultations with the representatives that we involve, for make sure they then take a proactive step for preserve the peace, law and order in Sierra Leone. And as citizens as well, we get the responsibility under Section 13 of the very Constitution, especially we go under F. We as citizens for engage in conduct where they promote the advancement and good name of Sierra Leone. And I think say actually with considerations of all of them thing there, we as a party now CMC, the decision for actually put on hold or ban on street rallies, it's something where it's strenuous, but we get for go by them as much as not the best interest of this country where they seek. And we don't take examples from other countries where, for instance, like other countries and they see much of, they even see street rallies. What happens? Political parties goes house to houses, campaigning, talking to people, and people able to forget the better sense of judgment for criticize them policies, even when they then get the one-on-one touch. Okay. And we think say that is a better alternative to getting that mass crowd out where they drift away from the very core purpose.
In summary, the ruling party supports within PPRC don't propose for banned street rallies.
In the best interest of the peace, law, and order of
society. And another side of arguments now that then they deprive the right of people for assembly, we now a fundamental right.
Well, if that right of assembly, as we all don't see over time, don't cause destruction of properties, lives, and also don't drift the very essence for which that street rally they occur, and then they don't decide to say, okay, Sierra Leone insecurity, a big pass, every other thing, and in as much as you enjoy your own rights, not a recipe for make you also infringe on the enjoyment of your own rights. So for safeguard the rights of every other person, if the need for banning street rally, we also, again, not deprive the rights of people for make them able to participate in politics, the alternative is also given. And so we see say, if not the best interest of Sierra Leone in peace and security to serve, we need to go for it.
So in all of this way you don't state, another view they say, for the fact that the ruling party so swiftly agree with PPRC, view they go for say this now, something where PPRC don't decide with now already before they come out to other political party them?
No, of course this not you then decide now the whole who say everybody day. And the ruling party not just swiftly agree with this. If the APC says be in power, because one thing I will tell you, it's a huge burden on government for ensure say them protect the state, protect the peace and livelihood of every citizen. If the APC be in themselves na power, then for embrace this more than any other political party. So the SSF attests to the very fact say street rallies don't cause problem, especially the management aspect of it. Now, given the very fact say the PPRC Act, then don't review them, and it don't get other penalties them where they affect political parties. Not to a lame duck as before. It's an act where they don't review, we get some potency for able to make sure say them bite political party in a way where at least it go affect them. So for make political parties self they attune or in conformity with some of the changes that they don't make in the PPRC Act, it's but proper that the PPRC as an institution and political parties also come to a consensus for decide the best way possible for the democratic process.
So according to PPRC, then do this all in the interest for ensure say there is peace and security in the country during this political term. But to get a very opposite view from APC. Why you think, say, with the reason them way PPRC give, we get the interest of all Sierra Leone and yet still the object?
Well, according to the PPRC chairman, the people them will get the authority for make decision in the APC were there and they subscribe. They actually raised concern as much as we raised that in the process of people heading to those assembly areas, waiting will go for be the mechanisms or the guidelines as to how, when they come back, what thing will get for happen to them, or how they will protect them as well. So the police, as well as the PPRC, get for work along with political parties for draw guidelines where all political parties being get for agree to. So if we have still not heard from the elected officials who attended that meeting and say anything, I will not want to subscribe that is an official position of the APC for say they not be subscribed, because you cannot be in the pond and out of the pond.
So Leema, you say una party supports the PPRC movement
in the best interest of Sierra Leone.
In the best interest of Salone, and PPRC are option we then come with now for make people meet in a area where they don't select. But looking at communities, plenty communities not get SAI, for instance, community centers for meet. And Freetown, for instance, we in the capital city, we apart from the stadium, we under renovation. So SAI no they will say about 3,000, 4,000, even 10,000 people go gather for make that address them. You know, things say going by this, una self as a party, una supporters then will be deprived for get a message from the leader.
It don't necessarily mean say you go to talk to everybody in that community. At least they represent quite a good number of representation of that community. You can speak up, you can speak to them, and at the same time put out stickers. Those stickers still sell the message. If people get questions for asks, they can even do them through the PROs of the parties, or then do them through the media, where the elected officials can now we can now engage the radio programs and able for talk or address some of those concerns they have. So there are so many ways we can cascade our information to we party supporters then for able to understand.
The party supporters sometimes seeing the candidates itself, they preach to them, or they count plenty changing in your mind, or go re-energize their position and time for interact with them political leaders them during their rally. So
I agree, but not to all candidates in this country go don't tell me say they don't interact face to face with President Ernest Bai Koroma, in spite of the fact say we don't go through former President Ernest Bai Koroma, in spite of the fact say we don't go through street rallies. Not to all Sierra Leoneans go say it don't interface and interact with President Bio one-on-one, even when President Bio get the energy, the time for going to almost every community in this country. But not to every Sierra Leoneans who actually don't meet and interface with them. But what's important that then they read them, then they listen them, and they go talk, the message reach them, they reach the people them, and through that, people are able to buy the messages of we leaders them we don't actually ascend through the throne of leadership in this country without even meeting those leaders one-on-one. Now, the issue also even with comparing political street rallies with football matches is quite different. For football matches, of course, we are going, there are players, we go for play, we will spectate for ensure say who team win or who team not win. Here is different. You are going for a political message, where not a competition in the sense, say people get for dinner pitch. You are going there to listen to your leaders. Whatever they get for you, get for informed you reflection. And so we think, say, it requires attentiveness, it requires time for make you able for understand what they tell you better, reflect on them, and look for another opportunities for ask questions.
You don't state on a point in all of this PPRC decision. And one thing we emphasize on, you say on agree to PPRC then decision for ban street rally because of the interest of Sierra Leonean. But when you look at this decision, not all Sierra Leonean get for take part param. Everybody gets outside they support and belong. This not in the interest of Sierra Leonean, or this not in the interest of the party SLPP directly?
This, I tell you, say me Sierra Leone, I get SLPP, I belong to SLPP. But Sierra Leone comes first. And this decision where the PPRC actually discuss or negotiate with political parties, not just SLPP been did, APC been did. They all subscribe. They all reach consensus. Waiting now been the concerns now about guidelines. And at that guidelines they then say they go work on. So it's about SLPP interest, or it's about the interest of Sierra Leone, because in as much as it get for guarantee the safety of Sierra Leoneans, very much needful for Macauley.
Leema, is the SLPP afraid of campaigns?
Why would the
Political
SLPP,
rallies?
why would the SLPP be afraid? SLPP don't put crowd now. Everybody call Wutete. SLPP don't put crowd in the days of Pa Solomon Berra of blessed memories. Yet we still lost that election. President Ernest Bai Krumah, under his leadership, the APC don't pull crowd, even though they may give them 20,000 leons for let them come out. But President Bill beat them in elections.
You get evidence to that
But if, of course, you be the see on social media, that is not a hidden. It's not a hidden truth. So, but what you and besides, you talking about evidence. Yes, I even meet to say that they give money to them now. Government warfare and that. So these are not things. So, but again, we try for talk. At the end of the day, who that you see that they share money to. Now people them way. Then they feel say easily then go able for derail from the focus. Where sometimes not even register for vote. At the end of the day, when they can then at the jamboree aspect, fight among themselves. And this is not something where we feel say it augur well for the peace, progress, and advancement of this country.
Okay. Continue for the way to in case you just tune in. You dey listen to Lahai Lawrence Leema, National Publicity Secretary for the Sierra Leone People's Party. As today inside the program, Radio Democracy, they talk to the two political party, them the ruling SLPP and the main opposition APC on PPRC, then decision for ban street rally. And so far, they don't get and take on this particular decision where PPRC don't take.
Saturday country from 98.1 FM. We come to we other studio guest. We now Adi Macauley, Deputy Campaign Manager, Western Area, Samura Kamara 2023 presidential campaign. And earlier you don't state in a position as a party, the main opposition party, as to think of PPRC, then take on ban of street rallies. If this ban stand, what in the party as what in as APC thinks could be the impact to una during the election?
Okay, before I answer your question, make I just go back to one or two things or comments where me co-panelists here make. Interestingly, Lahai Lawrence Leema, the spokesperson or the PRO for the SLPP, say the reason why we don't need street rallies. Not to everybody you need for talk to our communities. Well, I would tell Lahai Lawrence Leema, for we at the APC, every Sierra Leonean important because we want each and every vote of every Sierra Leonean for make sure we bring a better tomorrow for them. They slept yesterday, petrol was 6,500. They slept yesterday, a bag of rice was 200,000 leons. They slept yesterday, dollar to leons was 7,500. They woke up today, a bag of rice na 700,000 leons. They woke up today, a liter of petrol na 21,500 leons. They woke up today, the dollar na 22,100. These are the issues where relevant to each and every Sierra Leonean. Now it make we as a political party want for engage each and every Sierra Leonean. All the more reason why we want to engage in street rallies, because it is our constitutional right, and we believe it is an effective way for interact with the political supporters there. And you raise a very serious point. APC, we're a big party. Now we get 80% of the supporters of political parties in Freetown. So if you say, "Let go na Brahma to Garfield on National Studio," we no go flop there. The only side we go able for flop na treat. And now we constitutional right. But for come to your answer, what's the effectiveness we get?
It's the impact on our campaign.
It's not about impact. For me, it is about rights of Sierra Leoneans for engage, in free movement, and forget the right for assemble as and when they want. This issue of seeking to regulate each and every conduct of political parties. I was part of the convoy that was pelted with tear gas on Sunday, just because they say you convoy for past 10. I mean, when did we start having these laws?
Macauley,
yes.
The issue of we don't emphasize on the right of movement and gathering. Now, one way, according to PPRC, totally they need tap nobody not for move, gather and talk to them supporter. It's just that according to PPRC, they find more better and appropriate measures. But from which you don't say, it's like you state like for say PPRC. Totally, they try for deprive citizens of their political rights. We now for me to connect and give the leader then the chance for connect and talk to them people, sell them policy and all of that. But this not to MPPRC state.
Well, they might think that is what they stated. But the impact of what they say, now in that one day, say you know they engage in street rallies, it means say you not go engage in dance from one point to the other. But we they see them they dance na street. We they see football teams that they win games in a stadium, then come on a stadium, dance, they choose how they go. I mean,
so you think say the football and the rally, political rally is not the same? Take into consideration hate speech during campaigns and also music where people can regard as immoral.
Are you a football fan? If you're a football fan, you know the rivalry within football. It passed the rivalry within politics. The point here is about the mass gathering and movement of people. That is the comparison here. And I want for stay focused. When you listen carefully to the statement of the PPRC chairman, it is all about the risk of disorderly behavior when you get a huge mass of people moving from one place to the other. And this is not apples and oranges. Unlike Leema in example to the best school in Kenya, Holy Trinity. No, we need to talk about admission here. We need to talk about the movement of people, mass movement of people. When you get paddle, you get devil, you get lantern, you get mass movement of people from one place to the other. The point what they make is this: let we not limit with gladness, with happiness as a people, just because of there is a minor risk. There is risk with everything. That's the point I'm making.
So why with all the points where PPRC states, where according to them, these are the interests of the country in peace and security, APC so much believe in street rally? Will not get other better option?
Because it is our right as a union and as a political party for enjoy the provisions of the Constitution. And that is what we're insisting on. As I say, taking legal action is on the table. Is one of the options available to us. If we believe, say, it is necessary, we go down that route.
Legal action against other PPRC?
Oh, yes, PPRC. I mean, Augustine Maria in 2018, police pull law say, for common activity with your vehicle. Now, very similar to PPRC, the action. Then Cultural Crime Police Act. But when Augustine Maria, and God bless him, take the decision as Supreme Court, the one that we get the power for interpret the Constitution, don't tell we say you're not able for stop or restrict the movement of people or vehicle in a country unless there is a state of emergency. And we are not under a state of emergency. So we they insist say the PPRC chairman is a learned lawyer, a senior lawyer, make it look back at the laws of this country, make it look back at the judgment of the Supreme Court read by Justice Brown-Mac, reflect over them, and see if we go get some leeway for let we get a discussion on this again. Let me open up the discussion again.
Let me look at another angle of the argument where the PPRC boss states that it has been like this always, dancing and singing. And this time around, they want to change the narratives. Why the APC no agree to that?
Look, we as a party have the freedom in a rightful way, in a lawful way, for campaign the way we want for campaign. PPRC not get the right. Just hold on for me. PPRC not get the right for tell we how we for campaign in a lawful way.
So
in a lawful way, and also the import of fines in the PPRC Act don't become nugatory. It don't become useless because this is not the very reason why they bring the finance. If you misconduct yourself, not treat while you the rally.
Is it because not they in a favor and I make you consider all this regulation as useless, not effective?
If you know me, you go no say me na a human rights activist aside from being a politician. And this is not the first time I have advocated for the rights of individual citizens.
So is it because they're not there in APC in favor?
It's not
they
about
come out in all of this?
It's not about, Ms. Calon, it's not about whether they're in APC favor or not. It's about enforcing our rights under the Constitution. My focus is the right way the Constitution provide we. Now let me focus.
But it goes with responsibility, the right way don't so much they emphasize on. I mean, each right goes with responsibility. And according to PPRC, they get the right and mandate for regulate political party, therefore ensure they stay on track on whatever political activity that they involve by.
I'm not denying that fact. The PPRC get the right for regulate political parties as long as they self work within the provisions of the national constitution.
Make I take you to, you make mention of the Constitution. I take you to Section 25(1) of the 1991 Constitution, where they talk about the freedom of movement and also freedom of expression and freedom for associates. But also Section 25(2) of the same Constitution curtails some of them right here for public
under
safety,
special
public morality,
circumstances
and public health.
Yes, under special circumstances.
You not think saying that some of them things that PPRC look at and draw the decision from?
Well,
When
no.
we say they also look at the Constitution.
No, well, PPRC, when they talk, no make reference to which you they talk. So probably they want for important in the discussion. The point where PPRC...
Would they make reference to the Constitution also?
Let me just give you this. I'll take note whilst I listen to the statement of the PPRC chairman. He said rallies have been transformed into platforms of lawlessness. I mean, we don't see lawlessness in our football matches. We don't see lawlessness in our various areas, even inside parliament, not only limited to Sierra Leonean parliament. In the past 5 years, we don't get situation where there has been a breakout of fight in parliament 3 times, more than 3 times. Are you telling me that we will ban parliament because there is a risk, say, where 2 political parties do not agree on something, they will become rowdy and throw blows? No. Make that risk day with day of disorderliness, no limit we right as citizens. The police then they for provide security and maintain law and order. Let them not run away from that responsibility there. In Ghana, in Nigeria, we get elections just a few weeks ago, where the population is over 200 million. They not stop street rallies. Okay. We not see they kill people there. Do ya with the beg. We not allow the Sierra Leoneans. The only person who I believe say they afraid for make rallies not there, now the SLPP, because that is the opportunity for let people then basically tell them, say, we are tired with you. And on the 24th of June, 2023, with a Gilnam.
Okay, continue for the with we
The
name
lock.
na Adi Macauley, in the deputy campaign manager for presidential candidate Samoa Western Area. As today inside the program, Radio Democracy, they look at the decision where PPRC take for put a ban on street rally, and we get it 2 political party them at the studio, the ruling SLPP and the opposition APC party.
The program is still listening to the Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy.
No, I they come.
Will they bring it
I'm coming.
Yes.
You were there. You were on the television. Also, the advocate for these very street rallies, and these rallies lost lives of both security officers, and at the same time, yes, at street rally, the life, the loss of security officers at the same time, citizens.
You can regard August states as street rallies or riots.
Now, rally, you support them. You support them. The very facts I'm talking, what you have to say here, rallies, people don't lose life. Any tendency for get mass crowd out of the streets, where you're not able for control and conduct, where you're not able for control and conduct, where you get the potential for less life than loss. And over time, this don't be a concern to the citizens of this country, civil society organizations. Over time, we don't inform the amendment of the PPRC Act. And with all of them, they say, okay, it also there in the Constitution saying a government responsibility for safeguard the peace and security of this country. And we don't see a lot of rudeness and lawlessness we associate with some of them rallies there.
So,
if all political parties at the camp, please, including the APC, don't agree for let them ban the street rallies because of them concerns they are, where then SSF, it don't affect them. It don't affect every other political parties. We all don't agree, including the APC. You cannot probate.
But the APC is not complaining. They're not complaining, saying they support them. They're not complaining,
but
saying
I'm telling you, in the meeting, the APC, now you don't state now, so, their Secretary General was there. At the same time, one of the senior party members, when Dr. Richard Conte, he was in that meeting as well as we own Secretary General been there.
So
they unanimously agreed for the ban on street rallies. And over and above all, every community in this western area must get field where they accommodate a number of people in them field and day. And at the same time, with the supplement, also then we activities or we messaging through radio programs. And like what Sidoya, I'm reaching a mass crowd. So the issue here is talking about hardship or talking about difficult times. If we don't take government in a period of austerity after APC don't enjoy economic boom, and we have been able, out of austerity, we have been able to roll government programs. We don't able for make sure say we flagship project to do achieve. Anybody can imagine if na APC be data power, waiting before don't be the fate of Sierra Leoneans at this material time. But that's a different kettle of fish. One who come for discuss and we will discuss. So waiting at the same now on 2.11 for Razia, that the APC don't subscribe as much as all other political parties, including the SLPP. We all don't agree, say, we for ban street rallies because it's dangerous to the lives and properties of Sierra Leoneans. And we all don't agree, say, we go to assemble na community fields or other open areas and also supplement that with radio programs.
No, wait, quick one. Quick one, we cancel you. And the Macauley will cancel you, quick one. And like Lawrence Leema, over the past years, then we don't see the PPRC don't they pull calendar for campaign. If na APC they come out today, SLPP come out tomorrow, PDP, PMDC, then we don't they do them over the past years. Them why you think the PPRC not go by that this year and change the rules? Just 2 months to the election.
Every leadership gets in own style and it get impact where it create, where that impact they go be a legacy where everybody go live for enjoy by. We see during campaign, security officers then go attack President Bio's house, where to an extent then shoot. Sorry, I'm making a very mistake here. Where we see during campaign where somebody actually that's President Bio's house actually and then shoot him. He also sustained injury, and all because of then tensions there, where at least political rallies they cause to the extent some of we being actually the crisscross. You understand? They find other different places for sleep. So for minimize all of them tensions there and all the build out of them street rallies there because of the tension, the mami cause, the insults, the invectives, what then they use. We are in governance. So if at the camp, we are in governance. For tell you say, if na rally, na in the make political party win elections. If not to the rudeness and lawlessness where people want for embark on and use the street rally as a smoke screen for let them able for perpetrate the lawlessness and violence, we got the potential for a mass crowd more than the APC.
So why
you understand?
Why?
But it's not good for the peace and security of this country. And over time we've seen it. The APC don't suffer. The SLPP don't suffer. Other political parties don't suffer. So we not see say a very needful at a time like this. And so if a leader at PPRC don't make sure say all of them concerns them over time, it don't make sure say it don't project. It don't send. Please, you have to be patient. I gave you all the time. You don't send the PPRC act for let them review the act. And that act, they come with some responsibility from political parties. Then. So we don't decide together with all other political parties, including the APCC, then for ban street rallies,
quickly,
for the
why,
safety and
Mr.
peace
Ade,
of this country.
inside, please.
I think that is very good.
Mr. Leema, why is it that all them points we don't raise about street rally may cause this value, threaten the country in peace and stability? Why not now SLPP get all the realization way after not enjoy this kind chance opportunity we wanna be in opposition?
Not till now we ever enjoy this.
Why not now realize street rally get all in this value?
Not till now we realize this. Now, from all that rudeness and lawlessness will be done, they take place in with democracy, in with body politics. The president of the republic says, "I go rule this country in a disciplined fashion." A disciplined leadership is what he provides. Now, what in they happen? When a president says that, it forms part of his policy commitment. So when he appoints people into offices, people get for look at what are the policy dreams of the leadership and make sure say then frame their institutional agenda in line with the policy agenda. And if over time we have seen, like I mentioned there, in rallies, people that don't lost their life, there is too much of rudeness. Somebody they go naked himself in Ledona streets where it's not good for the morals of this weak country. We have seen that. Okay. It's not, and even in the APC rally, we've seen that. We don't see people they naked and say open. I don't want to talk. We've seen all of this. Now we don't get a leader and at the PPRC where she say, okay, all of this not good for we morals, it's not good for we unity, it's not good for peace and cohesion. It's affecting not just the SLPP, but including the APC and every other Sierra Leonean we know even get interest in politics. Okay. So therefore, what do we do where we go able for help, the progress, the advancement, the good name of Sierra Leone? Okay. All political parties says, if these street rallies now an opportunity for let people that make rudeness, lawlessness, engage in immoral conduct, where they are bugging, even with peace, with cohesion of this country, now we all agree say, now we ban them. Now I make all political parties say, okay, yes, we don't agree say, now ban them for the good of this country. But what is the alternative? What do we do? What are the guidelines? So the political parties, we all agree say, let the PPRC together with the SLP come with the guidelines. We'll go also go able for help, then assemblies them, where we'll able for go. Now then community feels them for listening to we leaders them the message we then get from.
Hi Lawrence Leema, plenty thank you to you, National Publicity Secretary, where you don't come make the Sierra Leone People's Party them point on PPR.
because communities feel just too small for we.
Now, if in case
APC final decision, going back to PPRC or taking
as
action.
As I say, we get a leadership. The leadership goes sit down, get a steady head discussion, and they will take the necessary decisions. But again, as they say, taking legal action is on the table.
In a situation that the APC not win in the legal situation, just they assume or preempt situation, what think will be the next step?
Well, as I say, let we not preempt. We not even take the decision for go court yet. So we need to talk about if we not win.